Hey guys, it's me The Rock, and I'm here to explain to you the 12 principles of animation, which they are squash and stretch, anticipation, staging, straight ahead action and pose to pose, follow through and overlap, slow in slow out, arc, secondary action, timing, exaggeration, solid drawing, and appeal. The first one is squash and stretch, and is when some frames are distorted to convey different materials. Less squash and stretch indicates a more rigid object, while more of it indicates a soft object. Now the next one is anticipation, and is when a preaction is made before the main action. This makes the action more realistic, powerful, and less out of the blue. Now the next one is staging. Staging is what animators use to control where the viewer is looking. Let one action finish before the next one and use minor clues to point viewers' eyes to where the next action is. The next one is straight ahead and pose to pose. Those are different ways of animating. Straight ahead is when you draw one frame after another. Pose to pose is when you have main frames and you add frames in between. The follow through is similar to squash and stretch in that it is used to communicate rigidness of an object. In this form, when something is moving fast, some of the object lags behind and jumps forward when the object stops. The next one is slow in slow out, which is when the frames become further apart and therefore it looks like the object gains speed. Then they become closer and it slows down. Now the next one is arc, which means that as things rotate they don't change size. Instead they follow an arc. There are exceptions when you are dealing with perspective. Now the secondary action, and is when another action is added to the primary action. That adds more depth and mood. The next one is timing, which means the farther apart an object is in between its frames, the faster it will move, like the shown examples. Now it's time for the exaggeration, and is when you oversell an idea way past where it looks realistic. If someone is surprised, make them more surprised. Now the solid drawing. The solid drawing is using basic perspective and lines to make the illusion of a third object. And finally the appeal, which means that the characters that you animate should be somewhat likable. They should be appealing, simple, and have a good color palette. And now this is the end of this project. I'm glad that you stayed here until the end of this project, because I would feel like I was talking alone like a But anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch my movies, and see you next time.